Hi everyone, we're Team CANROCK from Canada. We're here to discuss energy solutions for the future of Venezuela. Our goal is to take advantage of Venezuela's natural and geological potential in the most practical and cost-effective manner to diversify exports, reduce foreign debt, and provide energy security without causing environmental compromise. The primary problems we're going to address today include financial troubles, undiversified economy, illegal mining, energy security, environment, and emissions. So let's dive a little bit deeper. Venezuela is too reliant on oil and gas, which accounts for 99% of their export earnings. Oil and gas dependence has led to the financial challenges, and GDP has shrunk significantly. Debt and inflation have soared tremendously, and there have been also harmful sanctions imposed by other countries, which hurt the economy immensely, and so a lot of people fled, as seen in the figure on the right. Financial troubles have forced many citizens to lose their jobs and be forced into illegal mining to make a living. In an attempt to diversify away from oil and gas, President Maduro signed an executive order to turn a vast area of pristine Amazon rainforest into a special economic zone known as the Orinoco mining arc. The arc contains large valuable deposits. Many problems have arisen as the zone holds a unique, fragile ecosystem. The mining privileges of foreign companies were revoked for nationalist concerns and left a large void, which was then filled by illegal mining, which has already caused significant damage to the fragile forest ecosystems within the Orinoco mining arc and the surrounding indigenous communities. Venezuela pledges to reduce their emissions by at least 20% compared to the business as usual levels by 2030. And they have a lot of work to do, especially if you take into account that they want to get their industries back up to full capacity. The current energy mix is hydro and oil and gas, but hydro has not always been a reliable source, as huge blackouts have been caused by poor management and corruption. 100% of population had access to electricity in 2018, so it is a matter of reliability rather than insufficient power.
Our solution will leverage Alberta technology and case studies. Alberta is similar to Venezuela in that it has been blessed with large reserves of oil and gas, but recently has commenced the process of diversifying their economy to be more than oil and gas. The Everloop is geothermal tech created by Ever Technologies of Alberta. As a completely closed-loop system, Ever has many advantages, as shown above, and acts like a massive subsurface radiator. Unlike traditional geothermal, Ever isn't burdened with exploratory risk or limited to locations near volcanoes. It works great in sedimentary basins, which Venezuela has, but can basically be put anywhere. It can be scaled up just by adding more loops, as seen in the top right picture. Importantly, it is also low maintenance, which, as we saw with the Gary Dam failing, can be an issue. And Ever believes it will be able to provide gigawatts of baseload and dispatchable renewable energy anywhere in the world for less than $50 per megawatt hour by the end of the decade, making its technology cost competitive with natural gas, coal, solar, and wind. One thing we want to do is power earth element mining operations with clean energy, with geothermal. A really great example of this is at the Lihir gold mine in Papua New Guinea. They equipped the mine with geothermal power plant and reduced emissions so much by using geothermal and not diesel that these reductions were certified under the clean development mechanism of the Kyoto Protocol and then traded as carbon credits. This geothermal plant saved Lihir up to $2 million per year in fuel cost savings at its peak, and it provided 50% of the power requirement of the mine. An Everloop can operate conservatively for 30 plus years, and in this example would completely pay for itself in roughly 7.5 and continue to save the mine millions afterwards. By demonstrating to foreign mining companies that their energy needs can be taken care of with zero emissions and that they will save a lot of money after a few years of using geothermal, this will hopefully drive foreign investment of responsible companies and supply good mining jobs to local people who normally would be forced into illegal mining. But another amazing thing is that a geothermal power plant can serve as a legacy asset. And so even after mining ceases, it can supply extra power to the surrounding area, which would have normally been used for the mine. But you could also sell this electricity to a surrounding country, which would positively impact it, or use it for another source of income like cryptocurrency mining. We also want to make sure our solution positively impacts all demographics in Venezuela. And so we want to partner with indigenous people during geothermal. A great case study of this is in New Zealand with the Maori people who engaged in all levels of geothermal energy development, and they have seen great economic impact because of this. Relating this back to Ever Technology, though, they have a big partnership with the Little Salmon Carmacks First Nation in the Yukon, Canada, and they chose to partner with Ever because of the technology's very small surface footprint.
With the wide range of oil and gas production in Venezuela, it makes practical sense to explore technologies such as enhanced oil recovery and carbon capture, utilization, and storage. In fact, these two technologies go hand in hand. Venezuela can make use of existing infrastructure to target legacy pools while tackling emissions reduction targets set out in the Paris Agreement. Taking a typical mature oiled field as an example, the average recovery factor sits at around 20 to 40%. Contrasted with enhanced oil recovery, this recovery factor can go up to 50 to 70%. By using such technologies, the surface disturbances is minimized because existing infrastructure is used, and total emissions are reduced as CO2 is safely stored as opposed to polluting the atmosphere. In fact, EOR using carbon flooding is one of the most effective methods. This is where the CO2 can sweep the reservoir and break apart the residual oil mist during the primary production. Now, this animation, which just for the record is not an embedded video, it was made in PowerPoint, is based on a case study from Alberta, where Enhance Energy has been able to successfully sequester 1 million tons of carbon dioxide, which is equivalent to taking almost 350,000 cars off the road. Now, another means through which Venezuela could diversify its exports is through hydrogen. In fact, Venezuela has the potential to be a leader in hydrogen, as global demand for hydrogen has increased almost threefold since 1975. One of the great things about hydrogen technology is that it isn't new to Venezuela. In fact, in 1997, Venezuela built one of the largest hydrogen facilities in South America, but due to government incompetence, it has led to many systemic safety and productivity issues, which still occur today. However, that being said, there is still a lot of potential for Venezuela to be a leader in hydrogen through retrofitting and repairing existing infrastructure, which will be a part of the solution that will address energy reliability and grid failure issues. As a major hydropower and natural gas producer, Venezuela can generate green and blue hydrogen at very competitive market rates. This can gradually segue into Venezuela being able to produce solely green hydrogen as technologies become more capital efficient. Another type of hydrogen where there's great potential for Venezuela is clear hydrogen, which is hydrogen produced without any emissions.
An additional option to address economic problems in Venezuela is to embrace a different approach to cryptocurrency mining. Currently, between 80 and 100 million USD per month in cryptocurrencies are mined in Venezuela. The Venezuelan government plans on expanding cryptocurrency mining projects and continue its regulation. However, regulation from a corrupt, incompetent government repels investors. We suggest mining efforts focus on a variety of globally recognized low carbon footprint cryptocurrencies, along with changes to policy to welcome private sector mining for investors, as this can serve as a solution to diversify the economy, create jobs, and reduce foreign debt. A window of opportunity for increasing crypto mining comes by reusing the current flared gas to generate power for blockchain mining and data mining. Repurposing wasted energy, such as the 33.27 million tons of CO2 that were flared in 2019 in Venezuela, has the potential to change the oil field as we know it, while creating new jobs focused on technology and the environment. Economic benefits of our proposed solutions are highlighted by an analog study of 25 European nations. The study found a positive correlation between a country's GDP growth and renewable energy. For countries such as Venezuela with lower GDP, the study found that when renewable energy consumption increased by 1%, the country's GDP will increase by 0.477%. We believe that our solution will increase GDP per capita in Venezuela by 768%. We believe this can be achieved by as early as 2040.
Venezuela is in urgent need of international financial assistance, and the government must facilitate this. They must change their previous ways and mindset in order to attract foreign investment. Not every energy resource or resource in general must be controlled by the government. Best options for this would be from internal growth and from foreign investment. An Inter-American Dialogue report asked 8 large oil companies what would key conditions be for the companies to boost investment in Venezuela under a new government. And they said under a new government because that's the biggest thing that would make a difference, especially on the sanctions. But we can't assume that's going to happen, so other things must be done too. They also said that the break-even price of extracting resources needs to be lower than other producing countries, as there is still a lot of perceived risk from political instability and regulatory uncertainty that they would need to face by going into Venezuela versus the other countries. So for our solution roadmap, we have split it up into different logical phases and included a qualitative guide at the bottom showing the estimated energy mix of the country. For phase 1, we have proof of concept and change. We want Venezuela to show the world that meaningful change is being made and to lift harmful sanctions. If a transfer of power is not in order, then a major change of government mindset must be displayed. Then we can attract foreign investors back. And also we will put together necessary regulatory frameworks for emerging technologies. For phase 2, we want to begin really diversifying Venezuela's energy mix. More reliable sources like geothermal will fully eliminate the risk of huge blackouts. And at this stage, we will hopefully attract people who fled Venezuela during crisis back to the country and other educated immigrants. Phase 3 is called the debt battle, and this focuses on trying to reduce the huge debt they have through new foreign investment and our newly diversified exports in mining, oil and gas, hydrogen, and crypto. We think by 2040, our solution will have eliminated 70% of this debt. And in phase 4, we believe that through development of zero emissions geothermal and now mature CO2 injection assets with EOR, better managed hydro, and domestic hydrogen use, Venezuela can achieve net zero by 2050. These are our references, and thank you guys for listening.